Hey, welcome back to the podcast. If you've been listening to the past few episodes, we started off with energy, we talked about excitement, and now we're going to be talking about the third E in the equation, and that's enthusiasm, the magnetic force that multiplies your energy and your excitement. This is actually like the glue that brings them both together. How showing up with passion can transform your confidence, impact, and your success. You know, this is one of those, you can't fake this one. What is it? The Greek word enthusiasm, the spirit within, the godlike. You just can't fake this. You've built the energy. You've sparked the excitement. Now it's time to unleash the enthusiasm. It's the emotional power that turns your effort into impact. And that's what we're going to talk about on today's podcast. I will see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
We are back at it again in the podcast today. So in this episode, we're going to talk about how to turn enthusiasm into your superpower in business, relationships, and life, the difference between enthusiasm and hype, and why one changes your future. It really comes down to why passionate people win and how to become one, how to protect your enthusiasm in a world that absolutely drains it. Look, I am surrounded by a lot of negative people, and so are you. We all are. I'm not talking about people that listen to this podcast, that I work with, that I live with. I'm just saying in general. We're surrounded by negative people. It's so easy to take a trip to negative town. And that's the stuff that's going to impact us, that's going to affect us, that's going to distract us from where we're going. I know it, you know it, so we might as well deal with it. I'm telling you, you got to protect your energy. You got to protect your excitement level, because when you get those two items going together, your energy level and your excitement level going together, and you have goals, you have a place where you know you want to be, I'm telling you, the enthusiasm will kick in. It's really what brings those two items together. And those three things working together will get you where you want to go. It's synergistic. 1 + 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3. The combined equals 4. Synergy by definition. There's, like I said it before and I'll say it again, we talk so much about adversity. You got to look at the good things in life. Like, for example, what have you done recently instead of living your life trying to figure things out and trying to get out of the hole that you're in? What have you done to look back and say, hey, what are you good at? What have you accomplished? Today, for example, I just decided to stop, being ambitious, stop going after all the everything, stop the editing, stop the work, stop everything, and just, take a minute. Take a break. Just relax for a minute. I'll admit it. I'm pretty high strung. I have a lot going on. I'm trying to make up time for lost time. 20 years I was distracted. I did a lot of wrong things for 20 years. And then when I finally, woke up from being distracted for 20 years, it's like, holy shit. Now I got to wake up and figure out where I'm going. And maybe I lost a lot of time. Don't worry about it. I learned a lot of lessons during that, because when I followed the blueprint, I realized that there's some wisdom there from all the knowledge that I gained. But when you pay attention, you can actually live a little bit smarter. So there really isn't lost time. It's just life. But you got to make intentional time. Like, for example, I went indoor golf. We went and did that today. That was, I suck. My son's pretty good, but we took a minute to go do that, just to spend some quality time together, to go do those things. Because I learned in the past when I didn't spend quality time, it does affect your relationships. When you spend selfish time, either, on the weekends, having a couple of drinks of wine, having some beer, or watching TV, or just not doing things that are engaging, it does hurt the relationship over time. And spending quality time, whether you go to church and spending time with the family and spending time with your individual kids, it does mean something. And there's a fulfillment that you have. So if you have a chance to do that, no matter where you're at right now, no matter either how broke, how successful, or how average you might be, you have to make time to go do those things. There's a reason for it, because that will give you more energy. That will get you excited, because there's going to be a time when there's time to grind again, and there's time to work again, and there's time to go do things again, and you're going to need that fuel, and you need that good for your soul stuff, because that's where the enthusiasm comes in. You can't. It's so hard to be successful in anything if you don't have enthusiasm. And as I've been doing lately, and if you're new to the podcast, adversity is going to get you. It's part of life. It's not a bad thing. It's just going to get you. But you don't want to keep you down, so you got to learn from it. And how do you learn from it? You learn from other people's mistakes, from other people's lives, through books and through other stuff, through this podcast. And you learn from stuff like, for example, I'm going to reference a book here. I actually worked for the guy for 2 minutes, Grant Cardone. He wrote a great book a long time ago. I think I read it in 2006 or 7, I think, when it came out. The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. It's a New York Times bestseller. This book preaches about enthusiasm as a success multiplier. Grant's energy is his trademark in the motivational world. I mean, the guy does. I've been to probably 10 different, maybe 15 different seminars of his. And if you worked for me as a salesperson, I probably took you to one of those seminars. Because back in the day in automotive retail sales, that he was the guy back then. Now he's in real estate. But back then, he was the guy. And a lot of his seminars were very good back then. And it got to a point I ended up working for him, and I ended up presenting his seminars in Southern California. And I got a chance to work directly for him, been to his house, and I presented his seminars. And it was a good time in my life, and it was a short period of my life. I learned a lot from him, what to do, what not to do, and it was just a good learning experience. But I'll tell you what, a lot of enthusiasm, right or wrong, a lot of enthusiasm, and there's something that should be said about that, because when it comes to the 10X rule, the guy lives by it. I mean, the guy's always on. I've never seen him off, and I worked with him a lot back then. Now, a lot of years have gone by since then, and I'll tell you this. One of the quotes is, approach every situation with a kind of enthusiasm unknown to mankind. I mean, the guy does play at a different level. That's why he's ultra successful in what he does. Again, his ethics and what he does, I'm going to say from my point of view, I have no fault with the guy. I'm saying if you love him or hate him, whatever your opinion is, I've worked for him, and I had a good relationship with him when I worked for him. And the guy is who he says he is. He is very ethical when it comes to business. He's all about business and the end result when it comes to ethics. He's there to make money, and about 10Xing, the guy's got a ton of enthusiasm. So when it comes to massive action, it's fueled by massive enthusiasm. So you got to figure out a way to reach deep to get that enthusiasm. How do you do that? By winning small. Little no comfort zones throughout the day, little wins throughout the day will generate more enthusiasm. I can't tell you that enough. And if you need help with that, simple. The no comfort zone blueprint. It sets up opportunities for you to be uncomfortable throughout the day, no matter what you do, no matter what your job is. You get uncomfortable throughout the day. Think of it like this. If you cherish sleep, if that's your goal, if you cherish sleep, you're not going to sleep all the time. That's not how you're going to cherish sleep. What you're going to do is you're going to stay awake, get uncomfortable for a long period of time, stay awake, avoid sleep for a long period of time, and then sleep. Does that make sense? I hope it does. That's the first time I use that analogy, because there's a reward. You stay awake for a long period of time, then you reward yourself with what you cherish, the sleep. You want to make a lot of money? Guess what? Make a lot of money. Don't work really hard. Don't spend any money whatsoever. throw massive action into a space that's going to generate income, whatever that may be, for a period of time, whatever that might be. Get really uncomfortable, set goals for yourself with activities. Those activities should drive results. And when you get the results that you're looking for, then reward yourself. Invest in yourself. That's one of those things we used to do with the seminars. When we hit certain objectives, we would invest in seminars and go invest in ourselves to learn more selling techniques and things like that. If that makes sense, I hope it does. But it's one of those things to generate more enthusiasm. Everything is cyclical. Everything is synergistic. When you win, find other ways to win. Invest in yourself so you can perpetuate, if that's a word, a success cycle. So when you do something that feels good and you win, then you do something else that feels good and win. So you keep winning, and then you generate more of a success cycle. So now you keep just going and you keep evolving more and more so your success gets bigger. But I got to say this, you can't really have successes until you realize what failure is. I know that because I would say 2/3 of my selling career, I won. And 1/3 of it, I failed. I learn more from my failures than I have from my successes. I might be wrong in that math, but I just remember winning so much. But the failures, man, they were massive. Absolutely massive. That's just from the business world. In life, I could probably say that I failed maybe 80% of the time and won 20% of the time. And I could remember those failures because those were massive. But the good news is this, that's life. And this whole podcast is designed, the whole blueprint is designed, listen, you don't have to live an average life. You don't have to be here just to say, you know what, I'm going to live, exist for my God. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And then at the end of it, I'm going to die and then get my salvation. No, you're here to live the best version you can possibly be. Listen to this. Your job on this planet while you're here is to be the best version of yourself, to live to your absolute potential. Your absolute potential. In Tony Robbins' book, who's absolutely my favorite author, been around for about 40 years, Awaken the Giant Within, probably one of the first books I've ever read. He teaches emotional mastery and intensity. Check out the book. I'll have a link somewhere. It directly ties into enthusiasm and personal power. His quote, which I tie directly to this podcast, and I've done my best to incorporate this into my life for 30 years, right, wrong, or indifferent, is live with passion. The whole podcast is get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose with passion. Live on purpose with intention. So Tony Robbins connects enthusiasm with emotional state control. When you change your energy, you change your outcomes. I can't stress that enough. You don't need a reason to feel enthusiastic. You need a standard on how you're going to show up to your relationship, to your work, to your kids. When things are going bad in divorce court, how are you going to show up there? You got to show up like a champion. I didn't. I showed up like a victim, like a loser, like I was the worst person on the planet. I freaking cried in the courtroom. And how pathetic is that? I cried to the other attorney. That's ridiculous. I played the victim, and guess what? I got treated like a victim. It was embarrassing. And then when I finally stood on my own 2 feet and I realized, you know what, chest out, chin up, head up, this is how I'm going to live the rest of my life, I realized, you know what, it wasn't that bad. That's how a man is supposed to be. You know what, you made some mistakes, you move on. You get over it, and then you move on. And you get over it, and then you move on, and then you get over it. And then after a while, guess what you do? You take some big risk again. And then you fail, and then you get up, and then you move on. And that's where the enthusiasm comes up, because you know you're going to fail. But so what? Who cares? If you're confident, I don't care what you're doing right now. If you have a detail shop, if you're a salesperson, if you're a vendor going business to business, and no one's meeting with you, that was one of the most terrible jobs I ever had when I was selling sales training. I love speaking to audiences. I love speaking to big audiences. I love speaking to businesses. I love speaking to employees. Absolutely loved it. But I hated going from business to business, trying to get an audience, because no one has time for you. Nobody wants to talk to you. But guess what? Somebody's going to say yes, and you just have to keep moving forward over and over and over again. You just have to keep going for it. But guess what? If you know you're good at what you do. And if you have confidence, if you just believe in yourself, and if you truly have belief in yourself, guess what? You don't need validation from anybody else. If you practice, drill, and rehearse for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, if you do mirror talk, if you know you're a good father, if you do all the right things, if you get up and you follow the no comfort zone blueprint, guess what? You actually have in your arsenal of tools, you're not a victim anymore because you're working on yourself daily. You've got a plan, which nobody else does, by the way. You have a veracity about you. You have a viciousness about you. When no one's watching, you're working on yourself. Guess what you have? You have a plan of attack. You have a blueprint for success. You're working on your potential to be the best version of yourself, and nobody else is doing it. You have no competition. So when you show up, you know you have the best version of yourself. Who do you have to validate yourself to? No one. Not one person. So what are you looking for? You don't need validation from your customers. You don't need validation from your spouse. You don't need validation from the person that's not going to see you. You just know you're the best and have faith. Keep moving forward because your spouse already knows you've been working on it, so they believe in you. Your kids know you're the best in the world because you're working on yourself, because you're trying, you're doing the necessary activities. But let me tell you something. If you're not making the calls, if you're not putting the work in, guess what? You can't say that. And you know what you are. You know exactly what you are. You're in a failure cycle. You're not going to get the validation from your spouse, from your kids. You're not going to get the deal. You don't have the confidence. You don't have the validation because you're not putting the work in because you're comfortable. Don't worry. Tomorrow's going to be fine. Tomorrow, you get lucky. The customer will say yes because it's a numbers game. Nope, it doesn't work that way. Life just doesn't work that way. You got to put so much effort in it. You know, there's that thing, you can only put 100% in. Okay, fine. You know, there's a 110% rule. You can't put 110% in. That's bullshit. You know what? There's a 300% rule. You got to put your heart, you got to put your soul, you got to put your entire mind and body into it, however that works out, the 300% rule. And that's every day, every time, without fail, no exception. When I do that in the intro, that's where that comes from. That's where that comes from. And guess what? When you start to play at that level, that's where everything starts to come together. That's where enthusiasm comes from. You take the mindset part of the blueprint, you take the goals part of the blueprint, you take the cash analysis, and you take the 4 E's. And as my buddy Brett says, you take that edge to it. Enthusiasm is the key ingredient to all of this. You know, I'm spitting a lot of venom right now when I say this, but I'm telling you, you're selling real estate, you're out there hustling courses online, and you're closing for somebody else. You know, you're trying to get sober. You're hustling business to business. You're a retail car salesperson out there. You're managing a dealership. You're a CEO of a huge organization. Whatever you're doing out there, you don't have enthusiasm for what you do and the people that you're doing it for, you got nothing. But you have enthusiasm, that spirit within, godlike. You're a creator, and you're looking out for your people's interest. You have enthusiasm. It's a game changer. The mindset, the goals, the knowledge that you need, everything starts to come together. Your reality changes. Goals seem to just happen because you're doing the right things at the right time at the right place. Because let's say it again, it all matters. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. That's what I'm talking about. And I hope you understand that, because I want to let you know this. When you have excitement and when you have energy put together, you put both of those together, you have unstoppable enthusiasm. I get jacked up just talking about it because I know how true it is. Enthusiasm is what makes energy magnetic and excitement sustainable. My whole life I've been told that, man, you got so much energy. You're so excitable. Are you showing up with passion? Or are you just being present? Enthusiasm equals energy plus excitement with direction and intensity. I know when I got the national sales training gig and I was bouncing all over the country in Canada, when I was doing it, I know one of the biggest things that I got was my level of enthusiasm, which I did have a chip on my shoulder, I'll tell you. I was going through a lot then. But when I got the job, I can tell you this 100%. I got it because there was an edge, a massive chip on my shoulder, but I was so enthusiastic because I knew what it took me to get there. Because, folks, somebody told me a long time ago I was too stupid to sell cars. Now here I am in front of a bunch of people teaching them the process on the 40-minute car deal, basically, on how to sell cars at a massive level for the customer's benefit, salesperson's benefit, dealership benefit, on a whole new level. And I get to do this, and I got paid pretty well to do it. And now I'm getting paid to go around the country and teach people this. And it has nothing to do, zero to do with making money. It's about treating people right. That's really what it came down to, and how to do things the right way at the right time. It came down to ethics, basically. And where did it come from? Enthusiasm. It's just so enthusiastic about doing the right thing. And isn't that true for you? Isn't it true for you? When you do the right thing, the next right thing happens. We talk about that so much on this podcast. You know what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, so just do it so you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You want to be wealthy? Do you really want to be wealthy? Are you doing the things that you need to do to be wealthy? Are you concentrated on your net worth and your net wealth? Or are you focused or distracted? There's enthusiasm behind that. Enthusiasm is going to be a game changer for you. I would write down enthusiasm. What does it take to be enthusiastic? What does it take to be enthusiastic? See, when you can become enthusiastic, when you can really focus on your enthusiasm, you'll see that it's a game changer. Hit me up on social, Instagram. I'm trying to get more on that, but Instagram, hit me up. I'm enthusiastic. Dan, what is it? I don't even know what I am on Instagram. No Comfort Zone 1. I think that's what I am on Instagram. Here are rituals to spark daily enthusiasm. Speak your vision out loud daily. Start with I am. You're a creator. I am. And speak it out loud. 5-7 minutes. Go do it. Go outside. Get it out there. Move your body with energy. As I'm doing this podcast right now, I'm pretty animated right now. Speak with energy. Move your body. Tell it to the world. Start your own podcast. One of the ways that keeps me afloat and keeps me sane is being able to talk to you right now and get this out there so I can help other people so that I can live with purpose and passion. It keeps me enthusiastic. 3, celebrate progress audibly and visually. The best way that you can celebrate is encourage other people. I'm telling you. Celebrate progress audibly and visually. 4, watch your tone, body language, energy, and posture. 5, choose language that empowers and uplifts. I've said this so much throughout my selling career, which is going on 33, 34 years. Tony Robbins, a principle that he has, motion creates emotions. You're feeling down, feeling in the dumps. You're not where you need to be at. You need to jack yourself up a little bit. Go for a brisk walk. Go do push-ups. Go do jumping jacks. Get that motion going to create the emotion. Then write down some gratitude stuff. Write down the top 10 things that you're grateful for. Listen, when I got this house, I didn't want the goldfish or the carp that are in my backyard. I didn't realize that there was a pond in the backyard like it was. It's beautiful. I spent so much time there. The fire pit, the pond, they're koi fish. They're beautiful. I keep talking about this, but I'm so excited to go hang out with them this spring. There's 17 or 18 of them back there, little ones and big ones. I'm so grateful for them. They're a pain in the ass, but I'm grateful for them. It's my place of solitude. It's so beautiful back there. I love hanging back there. And this is the place that I go to visualize, to go over my goals, to work on my potential. It's my solitude. It's my place that I go for peace. I'm grateful for that place now. There's so many things to be grateful for. That's just one of them. Find something that you're grateful for. I'm so grateful for all of my kids. I'm so grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for the house that I'm in. I'm grateful for the employment that I have. I'm grateful for the podcast, for the listeners. I'm grateful for the pain in the ass people that keep me in check all of the time. There's so many things that are going on right now that are just so unbelievably that I'm grateful for. The podcast has grown so much, I can't even believe it. Pinch me, because I can't believe this is my reality now. What I tried to do was just reach a few people. I had no idea how many people I was going to reach. It's blowing up now. As we move on, I want to kind of end it with this. The world is full of enthusiastic killers also. Negativity, doubt, apathy, gossip, distractions. You got to guard yourself. You got to create boundaries around toxic people. A few podcasts ago, I said, watch who you hang around with. Make sure you surround yourself with really good people. Feed your mind daily with positive input. Protect yourself. Protect yourself from negative talk. Staying focused on your bigger vision, not petty distractions. It's so hard to do in today's world. A few times a day, I have a journal with me. I'm carrying it. It's a pocket journal. I write down my goals multiple times just to stay focused. Things are looking up. Things are working in so many different directions, and I want you to do the same. After today's podcast, don't you think it's time for you to really get out of your comfort zone and do a challenge? I dare you to do a 30-day no comfort zone challenge. I dare you. What type of potential could you be at the end of 30 days? You don't even know what I'm talking about. In 30 days, where could you be if you were intentional about the person you wanted to become and you knew you couldn't fail? But you got to have an accountability partner. I don't care where you're at on the bell curve of life, complete and utter failure, trying to figure out things, trying to get sober, or you're that person that's like, dude, I got 200 employees. I'm rocking and rolling. I'm super successful. Yeah, but are your people successful? How would you impact them on a whole new level? That's where my mindset's at right now. How can you be the best version of yourself so you can impact those people? Because, my friends, that is what this podcast is all about. You need to become the ideal version of yourself, the best version of yourself, the most enthusiastic version of yourself, so you can help every single person that you come in contact with. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. That's what I'm talking about. This week, here's what I want you to do. I want you to show up with uncommon enthusiasm. I want you to put the freak on people. In one area of your life, whether it's your job, where you work out, your family, I want you to lead with passion. I want you to lead with passion and watch what changes. Keep a journal. Let me know how that goes. I'm looking forward to see how your week goes. But until we meet again, do me a favor. Get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.